What's going on YouTube? Bandit here. I've just been messing around in the PTR with the Demon Hunter. Lots of changes for the Marauder set. So I've just been giving some things to try here. I've been trying to get back into Diablo, get some gear for the big drop that's coming here pretty soon. So I'm just going to show you one of the things I've been messing around with this evening. Lots of damage, a lot of fun to play with as well. And I'll start off by saying, if you don't know, they've pretty much redesigned, not completely redesigned, but they've switched some things around with the Marauder set. As you can see here, for your 2-piece set bonus, companion calls all companions to your side. That was the 4-piece set bonus last time. They did away with the dexterity bonus that you got. Just added the companions for the 2-piece set bonus. For the 4-piece set bonus, you're going to be getting these sentries. Cast your hatred spinders when you do. If you don't know, the sentries are you know how they are now, they just cast whenever there's an enemy nearby. Not anymore. Come 2.1.2, they're only going to cast when you cast it. So it's definitely a little bit more active than I was used to playing, but since I've been playing with it, you just got to keep on top of it. And you get used to changing up the playstyle a little bit. So if you were looking forward to being lazy still, it's not going to happen for you this go around with this new patch. So there's that, and for the 6-piece set bonus, your generators, the Elemental Arrow, the Chakram, Impale, Multi-Shot, and Cluster Arrow deal 100% increased damage for every active sentry. So that's a pretty big deal. So you're going to be getting a ton of extra bonus damage there just for having that. And also, not 100%, but if you're running this Bombardier's Rucksack, you're going to be getting 2 additional sentries. So I'll have to get some, I guess, some confirmation on that to see if those 2 extra sentries are going to be benefiting from that 100% damage bonus as well. I'm sure it would. I mean, this is a legendary item, pretty hard to find, so I'm sure it would benefit from those as well. But if you do know that, feel free to let me know, absolutely. And then you can see here I am running the 5-piece Marauder set. Tasker and Theos, you're not going to need any more for the sentries. It's all going to be based off what your attack speed is. You see right now I'm doing 2.13 attacks per second. Was a little bit higher. I've switched some gear around, it dipped a little bit, but I'm still above that 2 mark, so I'm happy with that. On my boots here, you can see I've got a elemental arrow damage increase, and I'll get into why I'm using elemental arrow here in just a second. Ignore the roll on this. I had to roll 2 sockets so I could put some gems in there for that. It's got hungering arrow on there. Definitely on the search for some better pants. I got the gloves here, the shoulders. I've got sentry damage increase. Got a cooldown reduction gem in the helm. And I guess this build, it revolves around the fire skills, so I'm going to be using the Cinder Coat. It's going to reduce the cost of my fire skills by 26%, and I've got a nice 18% increased fire damage there as well. You can see here I'm using the Witching Hour belt, and that's going to give me some increased attack speed there. And I also found these not too long ago, the Lacuni Prowlers. I like them because they've got some fire damage, since that's primarily what I'm going to be using here. And the attack speed as well, so you're definitely going to be looking for stuff that's got a lot of attack speed on it, or some attack speed on it, and it's going to benefit your build even better. You see I've got the Crider Shot Bow here lastly, and Elemental Arrow will generate 3 hatred for me. And I'm going to be using this because we're going to be using Cluster Arrow for this build, and that really depletes your hatred rather quickly. So you're definitely going to have this around, so it can, when you use Elemental Arrow, you can keep on rebuilding your hatred to pop off as many of these Cluster Arrows as you can, because they do quite a bit of damage. And since we're talking about our skills, we'll go ahead and get into what I'm using here. Elemental Arrow with Immolation Arrow. Fiery arrow that hits an enemy, 300% weapon damage as fire and explodes. Immolating the ground around for 315%. Weapon damage over 2 seconds. The enemy is within 10 yards. So that's what we're rocking there. Cluster Arrow with Loaded for Bear. This is just a monster powerhouse. Fire a Cluster Arrow that explodes for 550% weapon damage as fire into a series of 4 additional grenades that are each going to explode 220%. And then we've got the Cluster Arrow Loaded for Bear. Increase the damage of the explosion at the impact location to 770% weapon damage as fire. So again, tons of damage. Vault with Tumble here is going to reduce your cost every other vault that you take by 50% as long as it's within 6 seconds. Marked for Death with Valley of Death. This is just going to be doing more damage for us. Mark an area on the ground of a 15-yard radius for 15 seconds. Enemies in the area take 15% additional damage. Lots of damage, lots of damage. We're getting into even more here. Spitfire, the Sentry with the Spitfire turret. Turret's going to fire homing rockets. Random nearby enemies for 120% weapon damage is fire. So we've got a lot of fire stuff going on here. As always, we're running Companion with Wolf Companion because it sounds badass every single time you summon them. And you're going to be getting every single Companion that's available while you're rocking your Marauders set pieces. So there's that. We go over those skills here, or our passive skills, Custom Engineering. And that's going to let us have a total of 3 sentries. You know, you're going to be using that Bombardier's Rucksack. It's going to give you 2 extra, but this one's giving you 1 extra, bringing you from 2 to 3. And then, of course, with the Bombardiers, you can have 2 more, giving you bringing you to 5 sentries. So that's pretty awesome there. Our steady aim here, as long as there's no enemies within 10 yards, all damage is increased by 20%. So just stay, you know, you don't want to stay back a little bit anyways, just because, you know, you don't want to be taking damage and dying, because you're not doing damage if you're dead. Grenadier here, increase the damage of the grenades by 10%, so obviously this is going to be used in conjunction with our Loaded for Bear with the Cluster Arrow. And it's going to increase the explosion size of the grenades by 20% as well. And then when you die, you're going to drop a giant grenade, which hopefully that won't happen too often, but you're going to drop a grenade that explodes for 1,000% weapon damage as fire. And then, of course, we've got awareness here to round our skills out, and it's going to give you that extra life when you take fatal damage. So you can't go wrong with that. This is just a test build, obviously. Everything isn't set in stone. They might make some changes. But as far as right now, if this were to drop today, this is what we'd be working with. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some footage of this build in action as soon as we go over our Paragon points. For this here, you're going to keep in mind with your Ferret, you're going to be getting a 10% increased movement speed with that Companion setup. So I just keep that in mind and set that accordingly. For my max hatred, I've maxed that out, and I'm pretty indecisive, so I've been putting my points here between dexterity and vitality just to try to keep them even here. For offense, I've done crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and started working on cooldown reduction. You could go with attack speed, but I was happy with my attack speed where it was, so if yours is pretty low, you might want to look into filling that up first. Go and put our point here that we earned into our life, but for defense we've got maxed out armor, maxed out resist all, and then life next. Worry about life regeneration there last. And for our utility here, life on hits, resource cost reduction. Started working on my area damage here, and really no need to worry about gold finds. So I guess we'll go ahead now, and I'll show you what this build can do in action. We'll go pay our good friend the Butcher a visit and see what he thinks about our build. So we'll go ahead right off the bat here and just watch this stuff. I guess we won't watch it disintegrate because I wasn't expecting there to be an elite right off the bat, but like I said, that cluster arrow, it's really powerful, but it comes at a cost. Takes a ton of hatred. But the good thing though is that the elemental arrow we're using, especially with the Skrider shot, it's nothing to laugh about. It's still going to be doing damage too. It's a really good skill to use to build up your cluster arrow. You know, try to use it against little trash mobs like this. Try not to waste your cluster arrow on like 1 or 2 people or a little small group. And you'll see too, probably when we get into a little bit more action, I'll try to just pull them towards the sentries, so they'll get the full effect. Only some more down here. You can see once we get those cluster arrows going though, it's pretty devastating. Hopefully we'll make it to the Butcher without too many problems. It can be quite hard to find sometimes, at least for me. I don't know how everybody else feels about it. You see, we're gonna call in our wolf, all of our companions. Find a good position to attack from. Try to keep our distance so we can get that steady aim damage bonus. Get down as many of these sentries as I can. Now that we've got them singled out. That's pretty good. I didn't get very many cluster arrows out there, but I was working on moving around and a combination of that and trying to stay alive. Staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. Totally kidding. No, I'm dead serious, but well, if you've made it this far into the video, I guess I'll go ahead and remind you guys that are watching that myself and Jayhow are doing a holiday give back away. Lots of prizes. Won't talk about it too much since this is a build video, but I will leave the link for that video in the description below and you can go check that out. We're just trying to give back, show thanks for all the support that we've gotten from you guys over the past several months. I figured a giveaway stream on the 27th would be the way to do it. Hope we don't spend forever looking for this butcher fella. I think he's hiding extra hard today. He knows that we're coming at him with our cluster arrow sentry build. That is not it. This should be pretty fun here. The devastation! Hopefully we can get to this butcher guy soon. He's starting to tick me off. We're gonna hit him strong right from the get-go. Boom, boom, boom. We're gonna wolf it up. Ain't got no time for that. Blasted me there a little bit with his, we'll throw another one down here. Hit him with these. Ooh, please don't kill me, sir. Thank you, sir. Get right back around here on him. Finish him off here pretty quick. And that's that. A little bit of a rough start, but we made it. Nothing to it. You see the butcher went down pretty quickly. Well guys, that's it. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll probably be testing some more stuff, getting some more gear here that I can do some different builds with and share with you guys so you can see what's been going on over here in the PTR with the Demon Hunter. If there's any builds that you guys have been playing around with in the PTR that are doing tons of damage that you're having fun with, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And I guess that's it till next time. Y'all stay beastin'. Peace.